Somewhere below the bright blueness of a spring sky lies a garden. It does what all gardens do. The plants grow, some thrive, most grow into fine specimens of their true splendid selves, blossoming to their fullest potential. Some take a while to unfold, and while that wait might be excruciating for me, the impatient gardener, it does indicate the unseen magic that is always at play, even when I don't see it. The lesson to learn here is always one of patience, one of the greatest virtues to cultivate as a gardener. When I began this journey, as I documented the weekly progress of my garden, I had not planned for the evolution, and truly that can never be planned. I had sown seeds, hoping and praying that they will germinate and grow. Most did, but some didn't. And as I continued watching over them, watering them, loving them, they still failed to germinate, or even if they did, they remained small and sickly. And that is when the second lesson was learned, one of letting go. Letting go of the desired result, letting go of trying to make things work that were not meant to be. Which does not indicate lack of effort, oh no. Effort should always be there. But along with that comes the truth of finding that tipping point, that moment when the effort has to stop because something else needs to happen. And oftentimes in the garden, as well as in life, we let our minds get the better of us, where we keep pushing even harder, almost repeating to ourselves constantly, why doesn't it work? It should, it must. And all the while we find ourselves moving further and further away from us, from our center, our integrity, that place of calm from where everything is born. And I have been practicing this in my garden, as well as applying it in life. Yoga practices aid in deepening this realization, the need to get to my sthira, that tranquil, centered place. So now, when trays of seedlings do not emerge, I become more and more detached. Acceptance of what is and what may never be, and the ability to let that go. So the contents of the tray land in the compost heap, returning to the soil, and in time will become fine soil that can be used in the garden, thereby fulfilling its role. Not necessarily in the way that I had originally thought, but somehow still as a part of a bigger plan. A plan in which I too play a small part, along with all the rest of us in the cosmos. Life as it unfolds is so magical and so intense, if only one chooses to open all the senses to its splendor. I listen and watch as the sky bursts open and fat drops of rain fall to the ground, immediately seeping in to quench the thirst of my plants. There is something soothing about gentle rain. It forces us to stop all activities and to listen, to tune in, to observe. I love the rain as much as I love the sun. Both have equal contributions to make to growth in my garden, and I revel in both their glorious beingness. And just as quickly as the steady rain fell, the clouds shift, the wind picks up speed, and the grey lifts, taking with it all the droplets. A golden sun emerges once again, warming the leaves and even my skin at an incredibly fast pace. And after that cooler, stiller air, this feels vibrant and full of exciting life. Tiny drop-like jewels shimmer and dance on leaf tops, shining and smiling. Coco sniffs around, looking for the snails, a much coveted food for the French, although I'm not sure if she will eat them. And once again, I find myself comfortably slipping into that state of ease, that state of acceptance, of being in that space between action and silence. I had planned so much, both in the garden and in life, and then once the unplanned came, I had to change direction, do different things, explore new avenues. And the more I did, the more I realized that returning to my sthira, the center, is not so bad after all. Creativity began to blossom. Unimagined paths began to open up. New people began to arrive in my life, and a whole new way of gardening found expression. The one where wilderness is accepted as a thing of beauty, where I got rid of a set frame of mind, where definition shifted and a more harmonious coexistence emerged, one that has everything to do with the heart and thus the divine source. And I am truly blessed and humbled at the same time.